Hi everyone, I am back. I'm so excited to be back. It is WrestleMania weekend. In just a few days, WrestleMania takes place from East Rutherford, New Jersey. In New Jersey, not New York City. Michael Cole, get it right. Okay. But I will be attending. I'm so excited. It is currently Thursday, April 4th. So I'm going to quickly film this and edit it and quickly post it for you guys. And then I have to pack, get ready for Brooklyn and New Jersey because that's where Mania is. So I quickly wanted to give my NXT Takeover New York predictions because I know a few of you are going to ask me, but this is mainly my WrestleMania prediction video. So quickly, I'm going to just jump through this very quickly with my NXT Takeover predictions. It's going to be the first match is Pete Dunne versus Walter for the WWE United Kingdom Championship. Walter is incredible, don't get me wrong, but he just got there, so I just feel like it's not the right time to take the belt off of Pete Dunne, although I'm pretty sure they will. So who I think is Walter, but realistically I would love to see Pete Dunne retain. I just don't see that happening, although I don't really agree with putting belts on people right away. I think Walter should build himself up a little bit more, in my opinion, considering he just got there. For the NXT Tag Titles, which is to me so stupid because Aleister Black and Ricochet are on the main roster now. You have the War Raiders versus Aleister Black and Ricochet. To me, the War Raiders have to retain here. Simple as that. For the North American title, we have Velveteen Dream versus Matt Riddle. I think Matt Riddle is going to see his first loss here. I definitely think Velveteen Dream should retain this title because he's hot right now. I just don't think that they should take it off of him yet. I would love to see Dominik Dijakovic versus Velveteen Dream at the next TakeOver, which I believe is in June. And also, I have to say, to be quite honest with you guys, it's criminal that Dijakovic was left off of this TakeOver because he's so incredibly good. But yes, I definitely see Riddle losing here. For the NXT Women's Championship for the Fatal 4-Way, we have Shayna Baszler defending her title against Bianca Belair, Kairi Sane, and Io Shirai. So for me, this NXT Women's division has been completely lackluster. I have been totally uninterested in this division for like the past year. Nothing against Shayna, but at the same time, a lot of it is the writing problem because they have a lot of good heels, like Aaliyah and Vanessa Bourne are incredible, specifically Vanessa Bourne. But it's like these women who are so good do not have any room to move because Shayna and company are in the way. I just feel like Shayna needs to be called up soon because with her cronies and herself taking up all the space in the women's division, something has to give. Girls like Vanessa Bourne, Aaliyah, Candice LeRae, Deonna Purrazzo, these women who are so good in my opinion, they need to shine. And I feel like with Shayna Baszler being there, it's kind of hindering these women, especially Vanessa Bourne, because Vanessa Bourne has incredible promo skills. Wow. She really impressed me this past week. So even though I think Shayna needs to get called up, I still think that Shayna Baszler is going to retain her title here because I think that's what they want to do. They're going to have Kairi and Io work together in the women's division. And Bianca, I don't know if she's ready yet for a title run. So I would say keep the belt on Shayna, even though the division, in my opinion, is really bad, to be honest with you. It seems like an afterthought for Triple H, you know, kind of just like whatever about it. And that's kind of how I feel about it because if they're not putting a lot of effort into the division and they're just having Shayna and company run the entire division, I'm really bored already. So that's something to think about for the next TakeOver. And for the final match, we have, for the vacant NXT title, we have Johnny Gargano versus Adam Cole in a 2 out of 3 falls match. Adam Cole is going to win here. The Undisputed Era are going to take over NXT and run the entire show for the next couple of months. And then they're going to get called up around the summertime, in my opinion. However, I would rather see Johnny Gargano win here because I just think his story would come full circle. They definitely want Adam Cole to run the show. So I totally like Adam Cole as well. I think he's really good and everything. They want his Undisputed Era to run NXT. But if more people keep getting called up, they're going to lose everybody. So NXT is kind of becoming really how do I put this? It's kind of, they need better people in NXT. I'm not super stoked for the TakeOver card. I think it's okay, but I'm not wooed by it. Onto the Mania card, which I am more intrigued by, but still not super into it. So before I start my WrestleMania predictions, I quickly wanted to mention how I feel like this WrestleMania season has been one of the worst seasons I've seen in a long time, and I've been watching for years. So I just feel like they don't know what they're doing. They only focused on the women. And it's honestly not all of the women. It's just 3 women. So to me, that's just BS. Poor Asuka, I'll say that. There's a lot wrong in WWE right now, and I hope AEW is watching and kind of figuring out what they could do differently, because WWE is having trouble right now. There are some matches that I'm very excited about and I'm totally looking forward to, but a majority of the card for WrestleMania I'm just kind of like bored of and I'm sleeping on, because it's just kind of like whatever, you know? The builds have been kind of lackluster, to say the least. And like I said, I'm only interested in a couple of matches, but I have hopes because I want them to succeed. I love WWE, but if they're not going to put the effort in, why are we going to invest into the company? Starting off with the Battle Royals, they have already been announced for the pre-show. So the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, I'm going to just cut to the chase here. It's obviously going to be Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman is having this really stupid storyline with the SNL crew. This whole storyline with Braun Strowman and the SNL guys, you know, I have to say, I'm not like into Braun Strowman anymore. He's been booked awfully, and he's just a cartoon character. He's been relegated to the pre-show now, and they just obviously don't know what to do with him. I do think he definitely deserves better than a kickoff storyline, and that's basically what he's doing. He's on the kickoff show, so it is what it is. He's gonna win, and that's it. Now on to the Women's Battle Royal. Lacey Evans, hands down. Now I know a lot of you are saying Asuka, Asuka, Asuka. Asuka's incredible. She's got an amazing resume to her name, but Lacey Evans has been walking out for 2 months straight. You know, she's been strutting down to the ring, turning around, going back right up to the ramp. Something has to culminate with this, and I think an impressive victory at WrestleMania kind of will propel her in the right direction, and that is for a women's championship very soon. At least a title match. You know, I hope whoever wins here gets a title opportunity, and that should be Lacey Evans in my opinion. I would also love to see Ruby Riott win. I love Ruby so much. I think Mandy Rose is somebody to look out for in this match, as well as Sonya Deville. For the Cruiserweight title, we have Tony Nese going up against Buddy Murphy. Tony Nese is a local guy. I love Tony Nese. He's so awesome. He's a nice guy. I feel like even though he deserves this, he's not going to win here. It's going to go to Buddy Murphy. Even though I honestly would put the title on Tony Nese. I feel like Tony Nese has been so overshadowed for the past 3 years that he's been with the company. I think he definitely deserves this, but I don't necessarily think that that's the route that they're going to take here. Even though I want it to happen, I definitely think that Tony Nese is going to lose, even though he does deserve to win. Buddy Murphy is incredible, taking nothing away from him. I'm very excited for him to see what both men can do in this match. I think it's going to be a really good match. It's going to be a sleeper match, of course, because it's the pre-show and a lot of people don't watch the pre-show. I think it's going to be good. I'm excited for both men. For the Raw tag titles just announced 1 hour ago, we have the Revival defending against Zack Ryder and Curt Hawkins. This would culminate the story for Curt Hawkins, his first victory, to defeat his losing streak. I honestly want Zack Ryder and Curt Hawkins to win. Locals, LI, baby. So they're going to get a massive pop here. The Revival, they're good, but they're crybabies, and I just don't like that. So that's a whole nother story. Definitely Ryder and Hawkins for the win. So starting off the main card, we have for the SmackDown Tag Titles, we have the Usos defending against Ricochet and Aleister Black versus The Bar versus Rusev and Nakamura. For me, I think the Usos have to retain here. I think that they are on fire right now. I don't see any point of taking the titles off of them. They're so good. Keep the titles on them. Kurt Angle versus Baron Corbin in Kurt Angle's farewell match. I think Kurt Angle is going to dominate Baron Corbin very quickly here, but I don't think that this is his final hurrah against Baron Corbin. No way. It's going to be John Cena, in my opinion. I think Cena's going to come out 5 minutes after he defeats Corbin, and they're going to have another match, and that's going to be fun. I think Cena's definitely going to work a match with Kurt Angle here. I think WWE might be doing this to kind of tease the fans by thinking it's going to be Corbin. Hell, maybe Corbin and Angle don't even wrestle each other, which hopefully that's what happens, because Corbin is awful. So I would say Kurt Angle is going to win regardless here. Whoever he faces, he's going to win in his final match, which is well deserved. He's incredible. Although he really can't wrestle anymore, sadly. Up next, we have The Miz versus Shane McMahon in a Falls Count Anywhere match. This match is going to be brutal, of course. Shane McMahon's going to do some crazy shit. And I think it's only going to be like a 7 to 8 minute match. You know, people think it's going to be a lot longer than what it is, but there's no way. Shane can't go that long. Miz is, of course, going to win to tie the story together perfectly. And The Miz winning is the right decision. Shane McMahon's going to do some crazy shit, though. For the women's tag titles, we have Sasha Banks and Bayley versus Beth Phoenix and Natalya versus Nia Jax and Tamina versus Billie Kay and Peyton Royce of the Iconics. Sasha Banks and Bayley are going to retain because they just won literally 6 weeks ago. It wouldn't make sense for them to take the titles off of them. However, the Iconics need to win this, okay? I stan my Aussie queens. They have to win. Yes, I'm yelling because they deserve better. They do. They deserve a lot better. And I cannot wait to scream so loud that I literally puncture my lungs from screaming for them when they make their entrance at WrestleMania. Because Billie and Peyton deserve everything. Everything. And I know the tri-state area stands these girls very, very much. And I know that they're going to get a huge pop at Mania because we only see legends in the tri-state area. We been new. We been new. So yeah, of course I would like the Iconics to win here, but realistically I think Boss and Hug are going to retain. For the US title, which is not necessarily confirmed yet, due to Rey Mysterio's status, he might be injured with a broken ankle. I'm just going off of what is still intact, and that is that match. I'm going to have Samoa Joe to retain. I do think Rey Mysterio's son is going to play some part in the match, though. If Rey cannot go, I suggested on Twitter the triple threat. That would be Andrade, Ali, and Samoa Joe in a 10 to 15 minute match. I think that would be a banger. That would be so fire. I think that that's what they should do if Rey is unable to compete. Obviously keep the title on Samoa Joe regardless, though. Up next, we have the IC title. We have Bobby Lashley versus Demon Finn Balor. Obviously, Demon's gonna win. Balor has to win. I have to say, though, I hate this hot potatoing bullshit of the mid-card titles. Keep it on one person for a while. Let them grow with it. Let them develop. That's a problem. WWE, get your shit together. Up next, the no-holds-barred match, we have Triple H versus Batista with Triple H's career on the line. This would be a good way for Triple H to stop wrestling. You know, he is going to be 50 years old soon. This is a good way to kind of write him off TV in terms of a wrestler. Of course, he's going to be very big in the backstage section. He's huge. He runs NXT. He's going to take over once Vince steps down, of course. So this match is huge because it is their big attraction match. You know, for people who don't necessarily watch wrestling, but they love Guardians of the Galaxy, they might tune in just for Batista. So there's going to be a lot of eyes on this match, even if I disagree with it and I'm not excited about it. I definitely see Triple H winning here, though. It's hard for Triple H to put over people. I think his time is up in terms of being in the ring, but maybe he still wants to go for another year or two for these big special attraction matches. I definitely see Triple H winning, though. Up next, we have a feud that I was very surprised by in a good way. AJ Styles versus Randy Orton. So these two have been fire with their promos. You know, you have AJ Styles insulting Randy's one move set, and you have Randy insulting AJ Styles for working the indies for so many years and taking forever to get to WWE. Although I have to say, though, like, WWE is not the be-all end-all anymore. You can make a good living doing other promotions. And AJ Styles is living proof of that. As well as actually Samoa Joe too. Both had a lot of money before joining WWE. So I think that's kind of an archaic belief that Randy Orton was spouting off. And of course it's what the writing team is telling them, I'm sure. But it's just so stupid to say that, honestly. I actually have AJ Styles winning here, but after this, I see AJ Styles taking some time off, as well as Randy Orton. AJ Styles is going to win, for sure. Up next, we have my personal match of the night. We have Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre. Yes, I think this is the big sleeper match that everybody is overlooking. Roman Reigns, thank goodness, is safe. He did beat cancer for a second time, which is incredible. Love that. Drew McIntyre is somebody who's hot right now, who's constantly always closing out Raw. I would love to see Drew McIntyre win, but I don't necessarily think that's going to happen considering Roman's just coming back from defeating cancer. So, unfortunately, I don't think that they should play into that, but they are. So that just screams that Roman's going to win here, even though I think that Drew McIntyre needs this so much. This is imperative for McIntyre to win because Roman's always going to be in the main event. Roman has that security of being in the main event. Drew McIntyre doesn't. This is Drew McIntyre's time to shine, and I don't think that he's going to get that opportunity again. So I would have McIntyre win here, but I realistically think that they're going to give it to Roman. It's going to be a hard pill for me to swallow because I'm rooting for McIntyre all the way, baby. For the WWE title, I'm most excited for this match. We have Daniel Bryan versus Kofi Kingston. I'm going to start off by saying, if you're looking for the 6-star match of the night, you got it with this match. Kofi and Bryan are going to work an amazing, hopefully half an hour match because this Mania is going to go, what, 6-7 hours? Bryan versus Kofi is going to be banger. Kofi has to win. Absolutely has to win. Imperative. It is crucial. Kofi needs to win. With all the roadblocks that were thrown through Kofi's way for the past 6 weeks, hell, Kofi, it's a blessing for Kofi to even get this opportunity considering this was slated for Mustafa Ali to get this, but he got injured. So it's a blessing in disguise, and Kofi needs this. He's been there for 11 years. It is his time to shine. He is a single star. Even though the New Day is such an amazing group together, Kofi is destined for greatness on his own. Okay? And I would love to see Kofi win. Kofi needs to win. Black Lives Matter. Yes, I am throwing a little political statement in there because it's true. It is damn true. Okay? Kofi needs this for more reasons than one. Kofi needs this. He's fighting for all of us. Okay? He needs to win on Sunday. So for the Universal title, we have Brock Lesnar defending against Seth Rollins. While I think that Seth Rollins has definitely become the guy lately, I definitely don't think that WWE is going to grant us 3 WWE title winners in the same night, you know. Of course, we want Kofi, we want Seth, and we want Becky, but I don't think they're going to grant us 3 wishes. I think they're going to allow 2, definitely 1, but I don't think all 3. I think expecting all 3 of them to win is definitely a pipe dream. So you gotta be realistic here. And unfortunately, I think that Seth Rollins does fall victim to Brock Lesnar here. Yes, unfortunately. Brock Lesnar has no problems going to Saudi Arabia to wrestle because he's all about the paychecks. Now, there's a lot of wrestlers who are against Saudi Arabia for their morals, and they just feel like it's unjust to the women, which it absolutely is. But I think that Seth Rollins is definitely going to take the L here. Yeah, I really am not invested in this match at all. I think it's going to be boring and quick. If it's anything like their Battleground match, you're going to see Lesnar dominating most of the match while Rollins will get a little bit of leg room here and he'll work Lesnar's legs for a little bit, but Lesnar will ultimately defeat Rollins pretty quickly. I'd say maybe in 10-15 minutes tops. Then, for the granddaddy of them all, the finale, we have the final boss, so to speak, of the women's first ever. We got the first ever Women's Rumble, the first ever Women's Money in the Bank, the first Women's Elimination Chamber, the first ever women's tag titles of this era, the first ever Raw women's main event, the first ever Hell in a Cell, the first ever yada yada yada. So we finally have the final boss, so to speak, of the women's first ever, and that is the women main eventing WrestleMania. Now, it would be very ignorant of myself and other content creators and podcasters out there to not give a little credit to Ronda Rousey. Now, I'm not personally a fan of her outside of wrestling. I don't like her as a person, just a lot of different beliefs, and I just don't like her. But I have to say, if it wasn't for her, I don't think that the women would be in the main event of this year's WrestleMania. Yes, Ronda Rousey is a big name. Yes, she's very famous outside of wrestling and in the sports world. So for that, I thank her. I think that's great for women. It's great for people to look at women on at least the same scale as men now. It's definitely opening up a lot of people's eyes and it's waking people up. And I think that's definitely important going into 2020 and so on and so forth. So for that, I commend Ronda for that. This storyline has been a nightmare, to say the least. You know, there's been so many twists and turns. I think that they overdid this storyline. Sometimes less is more. And especially like the Kofi storyline, even though it's taken them so long to get to this point, you know, less is more. They really did the most with the Becky, Charlotte, and Ronda storyline. And I just feel like it's been beaten to death, and a lot of people are not really invested and interested in this storyline anymore because they literally smothered us with this storyline. So you have Becky Lynch winning the Women's Royal Rumble match. She gets her shot. Then they try to renege that decision, and she doesn't get the match with Ronda at Mania. That's been like the big storyline for the whole month of February, and it was awful, awful. And then Charlotte gets automatically put in, and now it's a winner take all because Charlotte defeated Asuka last week on SmackDown for Asuka's title for the SmackDown Live Women's Championship. The Golden Girl gets it again. The Golden Girl. Charlotte's amazing, but don't you dare tell me that she's not afforded opportunities because of who she is, because she absolutely is. Don't get me wrong. She's incredible in the ring, but there's plenty of other women on that brand who are just as incredible. Don't worry. I'll wait. So my choice to win here, I have to go Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch is very deserving. Becky's straight fire, killing it. I think Becky should win. Now that I say that, it's going to probably be Charlotte winning. You know, don't be surprised if Charlotte wins because she is the Golden Girl. She is Triple H and Vince's Golden Girl. They're both obsessed with her. So do not be surprised if Charlotte wins. Becky should win. Ronda, I don't think is winning. I don't. I definitely think that Ronda is going to take her first loss here. I think whoever wins, whether it be Becky or Charlotte, I'm on the fence about that. Regardless, I think that Ronda is taking the L here. Ronda is going down. She's either eating the pin or getting submitted. I think it would be the perfect end to the story to see Ronda take the loss as opposed to Charlotte or Becky. You know, Ronda's been killing it for over a year now. So for her to take that first official loss would be big and huge, especially on the grandest stage of them all in front of 75 to 80,000 people in New Jersey. That would be pretty crazy. You know, MetLife Stadium's going to be crazy lit for that match. And I mean, I'm sure it's going to be a great match. Don't get me wrong. Charlotte's an incredible performer. Becky's incredible. Ronda's extremely good too. For only being there a year, she's very good. So I have no qualms about that. I think it's going to be an amazing match. The storyline's been a little iffy to say the least, but I think it's going to be great. I really do. I think it's going to be a great main event. I just hope Becky wins. I don't necessarily think that they should put the titles on Charlotte. You know, MetLife Stadium in New Jersey is going to go ballistic if Charlotte wins.